Hey, good morning, everyone. Michael Fanning. This is Warm Up 220. And, I'm doing a deep dive in that book by Benjamin Hardy, Personality Isn't Permanent. And he's in the chapter now where he's talking about how we rebuild our core. And I remember I said there was kind of four things he touches on: trauma, your narrative, your subconscious, and then the last one that he talks about is your environment. So today I want to talk about your subconscious because it's powerful. So if you think about it, our subconscious controls 96 to 98% of all of our behavior, right? All of our behavior. But here's the thing: we are our emotions. Our emotions are chemicals. Our body is a pharmacy, if you think about it, and we have habits that we do every single day because what those habits are doing, those habits are feeding the addiction our cells have to those chemicals that are released from those emotions. And so if you think about this, and I kind of took some notes on this chapter that you talked about, is that think about dopamine or think about cortisol, right? Those are chemicals, and your emotions are chemicals, right? So every emotion we have releases a chemical in our body. Those cells that make up our body thrive on those chemicals, and they become addicted, just like we become addicted to caffeine, just like we become addicted to tobacco, right? Our cells become addicted to a consistent makeup of a pharmacy that we create in our body through our emotions. And then what it does is that drives our behavior. So for example, if our cells are addicted to dopamine, right? And every time we pick up our phone, we get a dopamine hit, we create a habit of looking at that more frequently, right? If we become addicted to cortisol is the stress chemical, right? And so if you know those people that create stress in their lives, and they have a lot of anxiety, and when they don't have anxiety, they have more anxiety. So they create things to have anxiety because their cells are saying, we need that hit of cortisol. We need that hit of cortisol. And so if you really want to control your behaviors, you got to get to the core of your subconscious and ask yourself, what's creating this? And he tells a story in the book about this woman named Jane. I'll just give you the Reader's Digest. She is in a water skiing accident where she literally separates her hamstring from her glute. And so she goes to the doctor, and they say, we got to tell you, you know what? At this time, she was, I think, in her 40s. And they said, you know what we got to tell you? You're most likely not going to run again. She was a big runner, and she was devastated. But she took that as the gospel. I'm not going to run again. And then 2 years later, her husband gets laid off from his job, and he decides he's not going to go back to work. And that causes her great frustration and anger. And she's mad at him, but she bottles it up and pushes it down. And then all of a sudden, she starts having this pain again. So she had recuperated from her injury, right, for a period of time. And all of a sudden, this pain comes back into her leg. And she goes to this talk of a gentleman, I forget his name, but he talks about how, a lot of pain that we create is not actual physical pain, it's emotional pain, but it's manifesting in ourselves and in our body. Because our body is our emotions, right? The body that we have and the things that go on are our emotions. And so he starts talking to her, so she reads his book, and what she realizes is that pain that came back in her leg from that skiing accident was not the skiing accident at all. It was that anger and frustration she bottled up. And so through resetting her subconscious, right? Resetting her subconscious, she changed who she was, and she stopped being so upset. She stopped being such a perfectionist. She started talking to her husband. She stopped having so much anger. And what was amazing is her life totally changed. She became a runner again. She started running. They told her she wouldn't run. But it's this transformation, but it's going back to your subconscious. So with that, he gives us three ingredients that we can do if we want to reset our core. If you want to reset that subconscious and change the addiction of the chemicals that are going on, there's three ways we can do it. And I'm going to walk you through those. Number one is rest. How much sleep do you get? How much quality sleep do you get? I wear this ring called the Oura Ring, and it tracks my sleep. It tracks my deep sleep. It tracks my REM sleep, and it lets me know what is the quality of my sleep. You know how many Americans today, because of our poor eating habits and because of our consumption of alcohol, because of situations that we're in, do not sleep well. Even though you're in that bed for 6 hours or 7 hours, guess what? You're having interrupted sleep. Sleep apnea is a huge thing, right? So what's your rest? Number two, fasting. Fasting is amazing, and here's some things that fasting can do for you. It can improve your confidence, it can enhance your emotional flexibility, and can give you more self-control. I started fasting probably a year and a half ago, a little bit longer than that. I read the book, The Ultimate Guide to Fasting, by Dr. Fung, and I got to tell you, it is amazing in what it can do and how it can transform your body. The other thing with fasting, that it also gives you a reset of your chemicals, right? If you think about addiction, right? When you're in a state of fasting, you're in a more clear state, and you have the ability to really do a deep dive on your habits. And also, not to mention the physical health that it gives you, right? It really helps you get more physically fit. The other one is this: what about a social media fast, right? Maybe, or a device-free fast. Putting your phone down, not being on social media, right? To calm that anxiety that's created, especially in these times. The third one, giving, the act of giving. You know what kind of pharmacy giving creates in our body? It's the good chemicals. It's the good chemicals. It's like laughing. It's like joy. Those chemicals are phenomenal. To get addicted to those chemicals in our body changes our behaviors drastically. To have the mindset to start to give, right? In any way you can. Look for ways to give. It's amazing what it does to you physically, right? Happiness and joy, laughing, those types of things. So here's what I will tell you. A lot of us, this is how we think we're going to change. We have some wishful thinking, and we have rare moments of visualization. That is not going to cut it. If you really want to dig deep and change those behaviors and really do a reset, these are some of the things that I would highly recommend. I'd also read the book and read that chapter because he does a great job of explaining it. But here's what he says kind of in conclusion. You need to have peak experiences that shift your identity and build a new sense of normal, form a new chemistry in your body so that those cells build the habits that allow you to become your future self. Deep. I know, but get your head wrapped around that stuff. And really, it's amazing how our body works. And once you understand that everything is connected, right? Those behaviors that you have are there because of the chemicals needed in our body and of the habitual nature of our subconscious to make us go do those things because it has those cravings. And if you want to change those habits, right, you got to do a subconscious reset. All right, everybody. Hey, I don't have the balance board today. It's at my office. I am going to ride it when I get to my office. I do it while I'm sitting on Zoom calls. I get on it, so it's really fun. I promise tomorrow I'll have it with me and I'll get on it. Anyways, hey guys, have a great day. Be awesome and help somebody. And remember, vote. It is your right. Okay, talk to you later.